You're watching, no, not Mostly Harmful, that's the wrong show now. Never Split the Party, and this is our first night playing Supernatural. If you checked in last week, we made characters on stream. This is going to be the first time we're actually starting the Wayward Sons campaign. If you guys aren't familiar with Supernatural, it is a crazy long-running TV show about monsters and the people who hunt them. That's a really brief description of something that's about to hit 14 seasons. We are a group of RPG players. We've been streaming for about a year now. We just got out of Starfinder. We've been doing Supernatural for a while, and then we're going to be doing a rotation thing. So if you're interested, check around. First complaint against one of my lovely cast members is you're using the wrong rolling windows, Justin. I made you all new ones. Could you switch out to the new ones, please?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the things you said you couldn't read before, so I made you brand new ones in about 10 minutes. Okay, hey guys, my name is Dustin. I'm going to be the GM. If my video quality is not quite as good as recent times, Chris came over last week and somehow broke my internet, so I am on my junky little laptop and connecting like 1,000 things to it, so we'll see how this goes. Also, it is really hot down here, and I'm wearing extra clothing because I'm so damn shiny on the laptop for some reason. So when I start pouring out sweat, that's not me tense to like what's going on with the players. I'm just literally dying. I think I already said my name, and I'll get to some announcements after. I'm going to let my cast introduce themselves. Start with Patrick, and in the order it's going to be Patrick, Justin, Michael, and Chris, since you guys have no initiative.
Hey guys, my name's Patrick. I've been playing with this group since pretty much the beginning. I don't have an interesting intro to my character because it's me and I'm interesting enough.
Yeah, okay.
I hope.
That's a real good positioning, Justin. I like how you put it right in the middle.
What?
Yeah, the Patreon is covering up Michael and.
Oh, what? Oh, it's because
Chris.
I was changing it, so it went in spots again.
Also, man, I am so zoomed in.
Anyways, hi, I'm Justin, and I'm sorry that I have a cold right now, so I'm probably gonna sound pretty bad. But yeah, I've also been here since the start, and looking forward to getting it on in Supernatural. Wait, whatever.
In Pat's secret camping space. No. Hello, I am Michael, and I have also been here in playing in those times we don't talk about because we hide them from everyone.
The Pathfinder days. Yeah.
And hello, my name is Chris. I have been here since the beginning as well, like all these other jabronis, and I'm looking forward to getting it on with Justin.
Yeah.
Gross.
More Pathfinder humor.
That was everyone. I guess we're all out. I'm so used to having the lovely awesomeness dude who is no longer with us. He didn't die or anything. He just got sick of streaming on Tuesday, so
yeah, he's in chat.
So he's in chat hanging out. Feel free to harass awesomeness dude. He will be our special guest. Sorry, I'm going to engage the chat right now. Nicholas, I will kill you and everyone else if they talk about skills one more time. Justin, those are still not the new...
I am changing them right now. It's taking me a bit.
Well, I miss it being in the middle of the screen now. I liked it there. I think that was a good position. It was right over Michael and Chris.
Now they're done.
Okay, awesome, thanks.
You liar. You would have preferred it over Patrick.
You're right. You are absolutely correct.
But I'm so pretty.
Yeah, I have Patrick's camera taped over on my screen. He may have already made me rage quit earlier, so that's going to be good. Going into a little bit of how this stream is going to work tonight. The Supernatural RPG uses the Cortex RPG system, and specifically the oldest version of the Cortex RPG system. It's had like 4 revisions. This was the only one that had published like official Supernatural books that are out of print and almost impossible to find. So I wanted to do that. Since we're doing a setting rotation, I don't mind jumping backwards a bit and trying just completely new things. Cortex is a little bit more narrative than D&D, but a lot less narrative than something like Fate, which will be coming too soon for another campaign. The book kind of assumes that the party are already hunters. Well, I threw those assumptions out the window, and we're going to be starting with kind of like a pilot episode where maybe a pilot arc, because it'll be longer than one stream, where the players are not yet hunters. This is their origin story, so to speak. So we'll see them from the idjits they start as to becoming the full-fledged hunters over the course of this first arc-ish, or at least that's when they'll get kind of their inspiration to become hunters. Unlike our Starfinder show, if you guys are familiar with it, we kind of stuck with those characters through every waking moment, sometimes agonizingly so. We won't be sticking with the hunters so much. It'll be much more episodic, where once they've completed the episode arc, the monster of the week kind of thing, we'll be moving on to the next monster. It won't be something where we also see them hanging out on the couch and eating potato chips, because that's not going to be fun considering they're playing as themselves, and I don't really want to watch them while they're playing with themselves.
Your loss.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Because we might have some new viewers tonight, I'll just really quickly say I've been playing RPGs since high school, and I'm quite old now, so it's over a decade. And I'll go with that. I've mostly played Dungeons and Dragons, but I've also played a number of different variety of RPGs. Not so much on the narrative end, so we're going to slowly ease myself into something narrative, and maybe we'll jump into like FFG Star Wars in the future or something, which is a bit more narrative kind of things. In terms of Supernatural, I'm not quite caught up. I'll be honest with you, the Leviathans took a lot out of me, and I slowed down. I think I'm partway through season 9, and I'm trying to catch up again. We'll be making this show feel a lot more like the early seasons. So if you guys aren't familiar with Supernatural at all, that's not a problem. We're going to be hunting monsters is the big pick of it. And
yeah, you can join the club.
and you can join the club. Patrick, Patrick, how long have you been playing RPGs?
Since I was 8. I'm 31.
He's like 42 now, so that's a long time. And Patrick, I believe, is the only person caught up on Supernatural. So due to his advanced age, he's got a number of things going for him that puts him ahead of us.
He's literally the only person in the world that's caught up. Only person.
Don't say that, because like one of the only people commenting on the Reddit post was, if this isn't the season 14 trailer, I'm not interested. It's not. I'm sorry. Justin, you've seen a couple episodes or a couple seasons?
Yeah, I've seen the first 2 seasons. So.
All right, then you're in kind of what the feeling I want for the show anyway. So we got that nailed. And my goodness, there's someone called the Click Commander in chat.
That's exactly. I was just laughing at that, but I was like, I want to call that up because that's great. But
I don't have an answer to the dibs question, but I'll leave that to the astute members of chat. Michael, I don't know what your Supernatural relationship is. You caught up?
No, I'm basically the same as you.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of,
rough.
Sorry,
Yes?
I did not mean to interrupt you.
Speaking of
Unrelated things, Justin, pull back my camera. My God.
I don't think he can do that.
can't. Yeah, you're
just gonna have to like sit further
did
back.
Did you not zoom in super far?
I didn't zoom in. I had to scale it.
Oh, descale it.
We'll play the scaling stuff later, but anything he does now is gonna break the stream.
Whoa.
I can't. These are squares, and we have rectangle videos. Believe me, it's yeah.
How come Michael's so pretty and I look like the Blur?
Me too. I'm right there with you, bud.
Yeah, you're both pretty weird.
I will readjust and I will make them rectangles.
There you go.
Tonight, because it's gonna take me about 3 days to fix all of the overlay things. For tonight, just be real close and comfortable with the viewers. Chris is the one that I say for last, has never seen the show, isn't sure it is a show, and has no idea what's going on, correct?
That's true.
Michael and Chris and Justin have also been playing RPGs forever.
Yeah, as long as I can remember.
You guys have more experience with things like Fate as a narrative RPG than I do. I haven't yet played Fate. I stick to more crunchy things. I like numbers. I hate numbers.
I do love the crunchy systems, like Pathfinder. Pathfinder's my jam.
Alrighty then. So you guys have questions for me as setup for the campaign? Or are you guys ready to jump right on in?
Do we need to know the rules of the game?
Well, we did that a little bit last episode. You've had multiple weeks to read the rule book materials that I sent over.
Well, we're going to be going over the rules for all the fine people listening and watching, correct?
Justin is begging that we do this because he has no idea what we're doing.
Oh, no, it's just you roll dice and you see what you do, but, you know.
Yeah, well, we will be covering some of the more rule stuff the first time we encounter them, so people following along can kind of get what's going on and slash. If you guys want to play your own campaign and reach out, hit me up on Twitter or Discord. You can find all our contact info down in the panels below the Twitch stream. Or if you're our lovely YouTube audience, in the description of the video, or if you're our audio podcast folks, good luck. No, I mean it's also in the description there. I swear we don't just crap on the audio folks. Other questions or setup?
Nope, not from me.
All right, and as a reminder to viewers, the players are playing as themselves, as in Justin is playing Justin and Patrick is playing this awful piece of Patrick, and that's how we kind of organize, like they're creating the characters. I'm going to be straight up, I'm not asking them to stay very true to themselves. I do want this to be an engaging show, and if that means they get more colorful or they flanderize certain aspects of themselves or they add things that aren't not necessarily true, totally okay with that. That's not a concern. So when Patrick starts killing babies in a later episode, that doesn't necessarily reflect on Patrick as
No, it is.
But it sounds like Patrick.
That sounds exactly like
I'm
that.
performing a service.
All right. I think we're gonna get into it. You guys, I'm sorry, one thing, there's a little stream boss thing down in Monster of the Week in the corner of the window. If you guys are interested, there are different things that will trigger if you beat the stream boss, and if you are the person who triggers the stream boss, you get to pick kind of the next thing that comes. I think Steve and I are still kind of working on what is going to happen when his boss is defeated.
We're probably going to fight a Steviathan, a Steve Leviathan.
Oh no,
that's not a thing.
The way
that's how I gave him the nickname.
Oh no, the way Stream Boss works is if you guys throw bits at us, subscribe to the channel, anything that involves basically throwing money at it, you will work down the Stream Boss. So best of luck, and Steve will probably be jealously guarding the, oh God, I'm not doing that, Steve. No, bad Steve. Probably guarding the spot. All right, for the setting, guys, we're gonna set you guys up and then you guys are gonna get into it. You are heading, do I write down the name of this town that we're heading to? Sure. You guys are heading to a remote town in the state of Vermont. It is several hours drive for all of you from your homes in Massachusetts, but you were told about this really new and supposedly exclusive campground by your friend, Nick. He wasn't able to join you on this annual camping trip that you guys go on. In fact, many of your friends that normally came got kind of busy with work and things. It is you four, it is your friend Steven, it is your friend Peter, and it is your friend Dustin who are joining you on this glamping trip. You are heading towards a campground where you guys will be spending about a week, and the things that you guys do while camping, you guys are probably familiar, but it is less camping, more glamping. There's usually lots of drinking, lots of board game playing. Chris runs a one-shot that lasts for hours and hours. At least somebody lays on the bathroom floor throwing up. It was me. So this is kind of the event. You guys are going there for basically a bros week out before you all have to return to the hustle and bustle of your jobs. This campground, none of you guys have been to before. You like to try new things, and this one seemed pretty interesting. As you are approaching the campground, you notice that it is set in a bit of a ravine. It's almost set in between the beginnings of two mountains that kind of form a nice long trench that you guys have to drive through. You pass by a town maybe 40 minutes back, and that's the last sign of actual civilization you've seen. As you are approaching the mouth of this kind of ravine area, there is a spot that has a sign for, it's called Stone Man's Campground, and there is a parking lot. It says park and ride. There is a spot for like a bicycle rack, and there's like a rental fee kind of listing for it there, except there are no bicycles. It looks like it was kind of slapdash there, and despite being new as far as you guys are aware, the sign is tarnished and dusty. It doesn't look as new as you guys were maybe kind of expecting. As you do park your cars, because the road gets too thin for your vehicles, you are following the path. You have some bags with you, which I'll let you talk about what's in them in a bit. Actually, let me pull it. If you guys open up Roll20, I'll move you over to the little map I put together. And if Justin can switch scenes.
I should probably get into Roll20.
I will break you. And all right. So we've got a dirt road leading up between two rising stone walls. And eventually, after you walk it probably takes you about 20 minutes to walk this road. It does open up into a bit of a clearing within these rocky walls that are steadily rising up to about 60 feet and kind of disappearing off into the distance.
Are there 3 Dustins on this?
There are
3 bald people.
Fellow is what I'm using as any NPCs that aren't important to the plot.
That's why I zoomed in on it, by the way.
But you do need to manage them.
I mean, the Pete and Dustin one, they're both the same, but that's pretty insulting to Steve.
Listen.
Sorry, Steve.
Okay, well, we haven't even gone over what they look like yet, so.
It's okay. We're not gonna worry about that. I will, as you guys are kind of walking up to this road, I'll have you guys describe yourselves. On your right as you approach, we'll just to make it life easy. We're gonna say due north as you're walking past. There is a large lake. There are some trees. You can kind of see off into the middle of the lake. There's a small island with its own little copse of trees. It looks pretty idyllic in that the water is very calm. It's a nice blue color, reflecting the sky above, which is slightly cloudy with some suns. And you can see past on the other side of the lake as you're approaching a small set of buildings, cabins, and the one towards the south, you do see as you're approaching a sign that says Stoneman Campgrounds, check in here. As you guys are approaching this cabin, which is a relatively new cabin, it looks like it might have been, prefab, brought in, plucked down. How you got there, you're not quite sure because it's quite difficult to get here. It does look relatively new though, as opposed to the sign in the walk-up. It at least kind of matches your expectations. As you're walking on this dusty road for about, we'll call it 20 to 30 minutes now, and you're finally getting to the cabin, please describe yourselves physically as to what you're wearing and kind of like what you look like physically, mostly for our audio folks, because they have no idea how ugly you really are.
Well, you're clearly not talking to me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Patrick, I would like you to lead the way, though.
Okay. As far as appearance goes, about 6 foot tall with a face like this.
It's okay, audio listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're lucky you don't get to see it.
Because you'll fall in love. Average build, and out of character, like I'm dressed in camp appropriate gear. Normally cargo shorts and stuff like that is not my thing, but when camping I go for utility. So probably like those nylon, not nylon.
What?
No, not nylon. It's like
Spandex.
We're running.
No. That was a mistake. There's a thin material shorts. I'd show you, but they're in the wash.
And he's not wearing pants.
And I've got a knife tucked into my belt, backpack, sleeping bag loaded onto the backpack like a classic rucksack.
Help from chat. He looks like a mix between a gym teacher and Ryan Gosling.
I don't. Somebody said that, and I just don't know how bad. I just don't know how good or bad that gym teacher looked like.
Yeah, I mean, we could say generic gym teachers are pretty fit, and you're fine. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
All right, Justin, give a structure to yourself. Oh, and you know what? What's your demeanor as you're walking up? Like, how do you feel about having to have walked a half hour to get to the campground proper?
I am stoked. I love hikes.
Okay. Justin is I am a kind of short Portuguese man.
It's funny because it's true, but
Portuguese and Irish. So I don't have the nice browner Portuguese skin. I have the white Irish skin.
So short in stature and temper.
I've got a beard and a goatee. I think that's a good goatee. Is it only if you? Yeah, I guess it is. And kind of medium length, brown hair. Big Portuguese nose, of course.
That's always stuffed up.
Yep, right now, especially.
Help from chat. He looks like Danny DeVito.
Oh, what? No, come on. I don't look Hey, I don't have Fugly on my character sheet, right?
He does not quite look like Danny DeVito.
No.
And he does have much more hair than the very wonderful short actor that is well known for his height, I guess.
And as I'm walking up, I'm kind of really nervous about this because, like, first of all, I don't really mind walking 20 minutes or whatever. That's not that bad, except for the fact that we're probably all carrying board games and stuff. So,
oh yeah, it's
got tons of stuff. But it is a little nervous for me because I'm like, there's no bathrooms around here, and what if I have to go to the bathroom on the way to the cabin? I'm gonna have to go in the woods. But I don't have anything. Oh my god! And I'm probably just freaking out, just a little bit. Like, can't wait to get to that cabin. But there's probably spiders there, so I don't like. Why did I even decide to come to this? Oh, but a couple of years ago we went to one and it was fine. So, and there was huge spiders there, but I was okay. So I don't know. But that's basically what's going through my head, because that's literally what would be going through my head.
Camped with them last year. Can confirm. Don't like spiders.
Nope.
I need to try to adjust my camera. Justin does have us really zoomed in. What the hell? All right. Could I have? I'm just gonna go around in my window. Michael next.
All right. So I'm Michael, and
we covered that one. Stop it.
I stand a little bit taller than Patrick at 6'2". I do have a little bit of a receding hairline, but I do have more than Dustin. It's important to distinguish that.
It is very important. You're not nearly as shiny.
No.
I'm wearing a hat to reduce the shine. We've covered this.
All right. As far as my demeanor, like Pat, I'd be enjoying myself on the walk to the cabin, especially since I would not be carrying anywhere near as many board games as the rest of them. I'd probably maybe have one, because I more or less rely on them for all that stuff anyways. As far as clothing goes, I'd be wearing, long jeans, boots, and just a t-shirt.
No help from chat this time, but that's okay. If I was to add something, in terms of facial hair, Michael has what I would call the Mirrorverse style goatee, which is to say the Star Trek bad guy versions of the main characters, where it's nice and thin and neatly maintained, where everyone else looks goddamn homeless in terms of facial hair. So yeah, just picture that. He's receding hairline / he keeps it cut short, so he looks baldish, but with really nice groomed facial hair. That kind of makes him look like a villain. And that leaves us with.
Funny you say that, because I'm probably the nicest one of the group.
What nice what?
It's the nicest one of the group.
Like person or facial hair?
Person.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe.
That's because the rest of us are terrible people.
I'm a
pretty good person. I'm a good person. Just not to you guys. Because you're my friends, and that's how it goes.
Well,
you know how it is.
Speaking of not nice people,
I'm going to force feed him a bagel.
I am roughly 6 feet tall, 165 pounds, very thin. Let's see. Green eyes, kind of dashing. I have the best facial hair of the group, hands down.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I could grow the best beard.
You definitely got the most.
100%.
You definitely get the most.
Definitely get the most, and if I try, I can make it look nice. See, I actually shaved for today. See, I'm looking pretty snazzy.
You missed a spot.
And not bad for doing it in the shower. So anyways, so it is not my first time camping. So I'll have my hiking shoes, cargo shorts, probably some sort of a either we'll go with the Golden Boy shirt I have there in my token there. Just a bunch of pink squares making a square with a yellow diamond in the middle. I wear a hat, usually backwards. Right now, I'm not feeling backwards. Probably a little sunny or something. I'm not sure. I have my backpack on and as a laptop on as well, because that's what I usually bring. At my hip, I have my SOG knife. Let's see. And I guess I'd be ripping on either Patrick or Dustin because that's my MO.
You'd probably just be ripping ass.
And that,
also true.
Oh, yes.
We have proof on last week's episode.
Yes. So I've been making plenty of fart jokes, plenty of portmanteaus, generally being a gnat, and then of course making fun of Dustin for being bald, despite having Pete and Mike right next to him, and Patrick for being Patrick.
Patrick, yeah. Help from chat. Looks like Jesus who let himself go. All right, and also with your party, now I'll just go over them briefly. We're gonna just give them really quick touches. Steve has got his. I haven't seen Steve in person in a little while. I think he's got his hair a little bit longer. He's got facial hair as we all do right now.
Oh yeah, hair. My hair is shoulder length.
Your hair is shoulder length. Okay, he's rocking sensible clothing. He's ready to go. He kind of follows in like Patrick's steps when it comes to like being prepared clothing wise, where everyone else is just being comfortable. He also rock climbs on the regular, so he's kind of got some extra gear with him for rock climbing. He's joined in the rock climbing exercises with Peter, who is a tall fellow. I actually don't know how tall Pete is, but it's got to be 6'2". 6'2". Okay, so he's as tall as Michael. He's much balder than Michael because he hits his head like, oh god, I'm so bright.
Yeah,
his head has a distinctive sheen.
Yes.
he does.
He actually does bick his head. I helped him once.
And he's got a fabulous beard a la Anton LaVey.
I don't know who that is, but that's okay.
Church of Satan founder.
Yeah, and he's fit and athletic looking. He's like Michael. They both are tall, thin, to the point of sometimes looking scrawny. The last member of the team is Dustin, who is
a piece of garbage. Despite
being in the
human
summer
filth
and warm as all heck, he's wearing his hat because they keep making fun of him being bald. So he wears the hat. He's sweating profusely. He's literally walking for 20 minutes. Out of the group, he's probably the pudgiest because he rocks what he calls the dad bod. Married with children and no longer cares about his appearance, clearly. And despite the fact that they are like knowingly camping in a more nature-oriented setting, he is still wearing sandals and has brought no other footwear.
Bad idea.
Yeah, and his facial hair definitely looks like he hasn't shaved in like 4 weeks, and his hair, when he does take it off, looks like George Costanza. There we go. As you guys approach the first cabin, which is slightly bigger than the ones that you kind of see beyond it, it does seem to be, there are lights on that you can see, even though it is, middle of the day by the time you guys actually get there. The door opens and a man exits. This man is, he looks to be older, probably around Patrick's age. Plus 10 years, so he's like in his 50s maybe. He looks like just a quick description. He looks like a rugged mountain man. He's got like the bushy lumberjack beard. He's got the flannel on, although the sleeves are cut short because it's really hot as balls. I don't know why he's wearing flannel. He's got, instead of like Patrick's cargo effeminate looking shorts, he's got cargo like jeans or I guess pants. I don't think
shorts.
No, he's got full pants. And he comes out. He has a very old-looking greenish backpack that he seems to be carrying. Either he's going somewhere or doing something. He's not quite sure. But he does come out and he raises a hand in greeting, and he says, "You all must be Nick's friends, right?"
Yes, sir.
All right. Name's Joseph. I'm the curator of the Stoneman campgrounds. If you guys need anything, you'll come to me. I may not be always in the cabin. I'm leaving right now. Actually, you guys came at a perfect time. If you do need something, I'm not there, leave a note and tuck it under the door. I've got a notepad and pen out front. If I am there any time of the night, feel free to knock and I will do my best to help you guys out. I'll go over the rules a little bit later when I come back around. You can also find some documents in the cabins if you have questions. I'm heading into town. Your cabins are going to be cabin 1, which is the one closest to my cabin, and on the map that you're looking at, it's the one that's due north, and it's one of the larger cabins. And cabin 2, which is the one just past that. Cabin 3, I don't have anyone staying in for your duration, not right yet anyways. And Cabin 4, we do have another individual staying there. I ask that you not disturb Cabin 4, and if you guys decide to spread your legs and grab Cabin 3, it'll just be an additional fee. Question from you guys as I'm heading out.
Did you just... I'm going to turn to Chris. Did he just say spread your legs?
I don't know. I'm looking at the big stone thing in the middle here. Looks like the locals have already made a prettier looking version of Pat.
Oh yeah, that's the Stone Man, real originally named. He's a bit of a local icon, and I kind of picked the place because of him. The stone icon in question on the map, for those people who are watching on Twitch, it kind of looks like I might have actually stolen it as like a mock-up from, was it Easter Island maybe?
Easter Island. Yeah.
It looks like kind of like an Easter Island statue. I won't say it's a direct rip in terms of how it actually looks, but it is kind of a slightly amorphous-looking humanoid figure with a longer head and a well-defined face, where the other features are kind of like barely touched into the stone. It does stand about 12 feet. It's a pretty big guy, and in terms of how wide around, the base itself is probably 6 feet in diameter.
Hey, Joseph, did you say that you named the campground after it?
More or less, yes.
Do you know the story behind it?
Story behind the stone guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that exciting, but I'll tell you about it around the campfire that we're going to have. We do every other night. We do a group campfire for those that are interested. If you guys want, come on back around after sunset, and I'll tell you about the story.
I'm sure Pete brought the s'mores. Pete always brings the s'mores.
Pete left the s'mores in the car because he needed to make room for his spicy nacho Doritos, spicy chili Doritos.
Spicy Thai chili, and they're delicious.
Angry Whoppers.
Dustin chose to not eat Angry Whoppers on this camping trip, so he is not panicking like Justin.
Like me?
Yeah, because you're kind of
Oh
worried.
yeah, because I was. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Is that a spider?
All right, guys. Here are your keys. He hands one key to Patrick and one key to Justin. They are for cabin 1 and 2, respectively. And yes, feel free to make notes on the map whenever anything comes up. This is going to be kind of like your campground map. In fact, he also pulls out a rolled up little map and he gives it to you. And it looks very much like what we have on Roll20, which is to say that it maps the road up to the point in the ravine where you have to start walking. It does showcase the lake and indeed pictures a little island in the middle. And in the cabins are set around kind of a circle, which comes off of where the Stone Man is. Past the cabins to the north / northwest, it gets heavily wooded. Actually, you could go through the woods theoretically. The map doesn't show this because it's not something recommended, but the woods do actually get you out of this mountain pass. If you had to, it would just be several days of hiking to get out. The much faster way is to go, back where you guys parked the cars. So yeah, you guys can take notes on that map as you need to.
Point of clarification, did you say I got keys and somebody else did as well?
Yep, I did.
Justin, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you guys got 2 cabins. The cabins would, so the bigger cabin, cabin 1, does comfortably sleep 4, and cabin 2 comfortably sleeps 2.
You go with Justin.
Yes.
Don't care,
Well,
dibs on the biggest bed.
That's a given.
All right, so actually, you know what? Fine. As you guys kind of go past, and Joseph leaves you guys because he's heading into town. He's walking along the road with his backpack hitched up. Very rugged-looking guy, I'd say. Anyone who's interested, he looks relatively chiseled, so he'd be handsome, but he looks old and grizzled. Like he's seen some stuff. He's got some extra lines under his eyes, and he's got a bit of a look about him that says that he's had a long time before he came to own this campground, and he might have some interesting stories to tell. All right, now, as you guys are kind of splitting up into cabins, I've got cabin 1 would technically have the biggest bed because it has the most space for them. So we got cabin 1, we've got Patrick.
Oh yeah, big bed.
And then in cabin 2 is just 3 cots tucked in there. All right, 1, 2.
Send Justin, he's tiny.
I just had to kill
sorry, it's
spiders.
actually just 2
Speaking of
cots.
spiders, I just had to kill one.
There's not enough beds for all of you. Dustin, however, has opted to sleep on the floor.
As he always does.
And the easiest place to sleep on the floor is going to be in cabin 2. So Dustin will be in cabin 2. Peter likes the setup of cabin 2 because it's closer to the woods. So unless someone vetoes him, he's going to also try and take a spot in there. And Steve
Probably also has the biggest bed.
Wait. You said 2 or 1?
2. 2 is closer to the woods to the north.
I already called being with Justin.
You and Justin can be in cabin 1 with Patrick.
Oh.
There will be at least 3 people in cabin 2 anyways. You guys will not have a romantic bungalow.
All right, fine.
All right, so Steve's going to bunk up with Peter then because they do plan on doing some rock climbing early in the morning. And they know Dustin doesn't sleep because he has children anyways. So that's kind of their setup. That leaves Patrick. Chris and Justin are spooning in one bed for some reason, even though there's an extra bed for them.
That sounds about right.
It's usual.
Yeah.
And Michael, you guys are all in cabin 1 basically. And as a reminder, cabin 3 is empty. If you guys would like more space for whatever reason, you can purchase it. And cabin 4 is set to be occupied, though you don't see anyone there right now, or at least not out and about.
Wow, we got almost like the entire campground to ourselves. That's pretty sweet.
All right, what game are we playing first?
Crack the beer.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm already there. I just assume I had a beer in hand walking there.
Probably true.
Mm-hmm.
Not a keg.
No, that's a fair point. I think probably immediately we'd be cracking out some homebrew and laying out or inventorying the board games.
I would be drinking a nice water.
Yeah, let's play Don't Fall in the Meat Hole.
Sure. Dustin will partake in beer. Peter, you know what? Everyone's drinking. Everyone's drinking but Justin, just to make him feel ostracized.
I wouldn't be drinking beer. I'd be drinking some form of hard alcohol.
That's fine. You're drinking.
Justin, you want to play Pixel Tactics?
Yeah.
I haven't played Pixel Tactics in a while. That's a great game.
Peter does put out a suggestion, and he said, while we have the campground to ourselves, does anyone want to go through a hike to the woods? Drop off our stuff. I'm kind of already stretched out from walking to the cabins.
Yeah.
That's effort.
Hold on. Let's go.
All right, fine.
Anyone not going? This isn't a requirement.
No, I'll get a hike in while the day
Okay.
lasts.
What time of day is it, actually?
I will say that you guys are passing 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely going for a walk.
Yeah, I'd want to get like a lay of the land anyways. Just
When it's in the woods, Christopher, it's called a hike.
Go for a walk.
That depends. I mean, are we going uphill at all? Because I don't really feel like walking up stuff.
No, it's a pretty flat area where the forested area is to the northwest.
All right, then I'll go. I'll be fine. As long as we don't go too far, because if there's no bathrooms out there.
Let me, I guess, describe the cabins a little bit better.
The world is your bathroom.
See, the funny thing is that the audience probably thinks that Justin's already flanderizing himself, but he isn't.
This is all
that's like literally.
Like so far, everything that we've done is all in character.
Yep. That is literally exactly how I'd be.
Yeah. The cabins themselves are modern. They seem to be recently brought in prefabricated materials, so they're kind of slapped together. They don't seem to be full of any spiders or bugs because they are relatively clean. They do all have like working bathrooms because this is a modern campground with some sort of septic system. Again, how they get the septic cleared, I'm not entirely sure. That's, you don't need too much there. There's not much in there. There's table space, so you guys can drop board games. That's always important to you, so you made sure you map that out. There's room for all of the bags and things for the most part. And like I said, if needed, you guys could end up expanding into a third cabin. So you guys have a decent setup, and you guys sounds like all going on a hike, and everyone's kind of down just to see what's around and what you guys can do for the rest of the week by just walking through. As you go through, the forest is pretty thick. It cuts off into the clearing that you guys are in with the lake being due east of all of the cabins. The forest itself, as soon as you're into it, it's very thick. The light becomes much, much dimmer. It looks almost like late evening based on how much sun is filtering through the trees while it is still almost midday. The ground is covered in just some fallen leaves, rocks, branches, and trees that have like maybe fallen off or snapped down. Despite being kind of in this closed-off area, it does appear to get some heavy weather activity. Otherwise, though, it's a really nice walk, and there are a couple of defined paths that you can kind of follow. There's a path that leads, once you hit into the woods, heads double back east, and it looks like it might meet up back with the lake. There is a path that heads due north, deeper into the woods, which are, again, relatively peaceful. If you were to head due west, you do hit the mountain walls relatively quickly after the forest disappears, or like you get into the forest, go for a bit, and then it's rock walls. And you can also head around south, but the south just seems to be like a much smaller area to walk in. If you guys are looking for a wooded area, you'd be heading north. If you want to check out maybe the rock walls, you could head either northeast, east, or due west. And south, you're just heading back to the cabins. That's not really hiking material. But there is a path that goes back there.
So I'm assuming that Pete wanted to take a look at the rock walls. I'm just out here for a hike.
I would also say rock walls.
I just assume we're going to the rock walls.
Agreed.
I'm probably lagging behind with my short leg.
You probably are.
I'm baby legs, and this is my partner.
All right. What would be perception rules in Supernatural? I'm looking through.
Alertness?
It's alertness
Plus.
Well, it all depends. You literally combine the two that you think make sense at the time.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask if I could make an alertness and outdoor life check to see if there were any teaching moments, like edible food. Edible plants rather than edible food.
Edible food.
I could always just eat a granola bar. Hey guys, did you know? Calories. But it's okay because it's not that important.
I think you're supposed to do. Hold on, where's my notes? Why don't I have these down? It was supposed to be skills plus simple
ability?
actions, attribute plus skill. So yeah, your attribute being alertness, and then your skill being
whatever appropriate.
You said outdoor something, right?
Perception is one.
Yeah, you can do it. I'd be okay without the outdoorsy one though. You're specifically looking for things that would be more like lay of the land or like nature stuff. Yeah, give me that roll.
Word.
So while he's doing that, because it's going to be a little bit slower for us rolling these first few times, the dice system is a little bit different. If you're used to Dungeons and Dragons, thank you. It uses a D20, which is like one die. You can you do math off of that one die. The way
you had a 10, Pat.
Huh? You
had a 10.
Plus his modifiers, yes?
Oh, hold on. I rolled a D6. I was supposed to roll a D4.
I also rolled the outdoors. And
yeah, you guys need to not roll in the middle of other people rolling because we're rolling more than one die and we don't have macros for it. So it'll be one person rolls and then we tally that up because it's going to get real confusing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so I rolled.
Well, why don't you do like 1d8 plus 1d4 or something?
Yeah, that's fine, but I also don't mind if you guys eventually do macros, which are just 1d2.
Oh, I thought so. We can't do physical dice.
You can do physical dice as well.
All right, because I brought my dice up here.
Yeah, I just forgot to pick up my dice from Chris's. So Mike's correct. I did not roll a 1d6. I just didn't see that. I was looking at his stuff. I rolled a 10 total.
Can I do a site-based one?
Sure.
Take a look around.
All right,
that is.
That is silently and in your head, you mother. Back to my explanation of the rules. This system is you roll a dice based on how good you are at something. You roll a D2, which is a coin. So you flip a coin if you are pretty lousy at something. But if you are really effing awesome at something, you roll a D12. The way this works is you guys have attributes which go from agility, strength, vitality, alertness, intelligence, and willpower. And you also have skills. Skills are much more varied, and I'm not going to go into those. You guys can talk about them as they come up and you use them. But basically, you're going to marry one of your attributes to one of your skills and put those two dice together to get your result. But because you're putting two things together, you don't always have to do the same thing. In Dungeons and Dragons and any other D20 system like Starfinder, perception is you roll a D20, add your perception stat. That is it. There's no other stuff that goes into it, and it's pretty static. For this, though, Patrick's looking for something specific, so he chose a specific skill related to it. And Chris is going for the more general outlook on things, so he's going to roll something that's a little bit more vague. It's a nice way to make you have a specific role, kind of. Not like in the party, but also with the dice. I like that part of the Cortex system. We'll see how much I like the rest of it, but at least that I kind of like it. I like how easy it is.
I think that's pretty cool.
Bad at something, D2.
You can also choose to skip the roll entirely if the roll doesn't serve for, if the roll isn't all that important. If it's assumed, yeah, you probably
this particular roll, but yes, for the most part.
Oh, I'm not questioning that. I was just expounding on your explanation.
Yeah, it's a good call. The game is very much like if they have the time, like just hand wave it. You can maybe set how long it takes them, but don't make it like don't roll 100 times.
It does try to be 11 for sight based.
11. So we had a 10 for kind of outdoorsiness and an 11.
I got 8.
I also had an 11.
Okay. And for Michael and Justin, what were you guys focusing on while you're searching? What was the skill you used?
I used perception.
Okay.
I used the general like outdoorsiness.
Okay. So in terms of that, Patrick, you find as you're kind of going through, you notice that the area around here is like it's really, really lush. Like there's a lot of there's signs of wildlife, which may be good or bad. Your role and your personal experience, I don't think really lead to you knowing exactly what wildlife does what. But you see like animal footprints and like some of the softer ground and some animal scat, around some certain areas. So good to know that you guys aren't alone there. In terms of like edibles, there are like different plants and berries and things you're able to identify, and your role is good enough. They're able to point out like, don't eat those. They're going to be like eating an Angry Whopper on a 4-hour car ride. But eat those because they taste like mint.
Because it's mint.
Because it's mint. Michael, you get much of the same, but if anything comes up in terms of plant identification later for some reason, you'll have knowledge of if they're in the woods or not. Like you were able to pick out some plants that were a little uncommon, but were kind of all throughout the forest. I don't have an idea of what these uncommon plants would be because I'm not that creative, but yeah, you find some uncommon fauna uncommon flora that you are able to identify and remember. For the guys doing general perception, I had an 11 on there, so we'll go with that. As you're walking through, the woods are, you can see throughout the woods pretty well because while it is dense canopy, the trees themselves are fairly well spaced apart. So you get kind of like a nice light like shimmering down through the trees, which kind of makes everything painted in gold. And you can see relatively far into the forest, when there's trees open, and the path is pretty well, cleared out. You don't notice any animals in the area, but obviously Patrick points out that there's signs of animals. You guys make it to the wall, no problem, with the kind of rock wall that kind of leads to the mountain going up into the distance. You guys aren't getting lost. The path seems pretty straightforward. You don't feel the need to leave, you don't leave breadcrumbs on your way back or anything. You kind of got it. It's marked well enough in terms of the footpath that you guys are pretty sure as long as you don't ever leave the path, you won't get lost. The other thing that you notice though with that roll is you do pick up on something weird in one of the trees. It just caught your eye as you were kind of scanning past it. And I think this was Michael. Was that you with the 11?
And me.
Oh, okay. So, I'm sorry. Michael was the outdoorsy one. Chris, you kind of noticed this, and I'll let you play how you want. In one of the trees, hanging from one of the branches, a little bit more than head height for you, so maybe 6.5 feet in, up in the air. There's like a weird kind of collection of branches that seem to be all like bound together with some sort of twine in like a weird kind of jagged collection. Is that something that you would mention?
Yeah, if I saw it, I'd just go to it. Ooh, what's this?
It's a little too high for you. I mean, you could maybe jump and reap it out of the sky if you wanted, or you could maybe try and climb up the tree.
I can totally climb it. I got climbing skill.
The trees are like knotty and with lots of lowered branches. You have no problem climbing trees here, none at all, actually. So you kind of clamber up and everyone's like, there goes Chris climbing trees again.
Yep. That's pretty
actually accurate.
Yep.
Guys, I've been with you camping before. I've seen the thing. And you get it down. Like it comes off. It's like it looks like it's hung up there by like repurposed vines from somewhere else in the forest. and you kind of yank it down, and it comes with you, and you climb back down the tree. It looks to be an intentionally designed shape of branches that kind of like a small like it's almost like an asterisk made out of these logs, and like within the vines tying it together, there are other items like a couple bird feathers and maybe like a squirrel bone or something tucked in there. It looks like a weird collection that was hung up in the tree.
Hey guys, I found an owl pellet.
It doesn't. For the record, it doesn't look like an owl pellet.
I know, but that's what I'd say.
Okay.
And Pat's muted.
It's pretty big for an owl pellet. Like what?
I don't know. There's like
Still muted?
You're still muted, Patrick.
Still muted.
$10
I saw that.
Somebody came here with their kid watching the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah. I mean, there's like bones in it and shit. This is cool.
It does look very Blair Witch Project-y. If you wanted to give it a stereotype, yes.
Huh. Oh, wonder how old it is. Does it look old?
I don't know. Put it next to Pat. Let me check.
Yeah.
I hate you so much.
You know, it looks aged. It looks like it's probably been out in a couple of storms and everything. It looks, and because the wood is dead and kind of like more petrified. Yeah, it looks older. I wouldn't say like ancient, but it looks like
so not quite Patrick.
It was, yeah, not quite Patrick. It wasn't put there yesterday, but I'd say, I don't know, could be anywhere from a couple weeks to a year old. I don't think you guys are experts in the age of wood.
I don't know.
Would either knowledge religion or lore mythology work?
Do you have those things? Or
yes, I have those things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could do either.
Both of them are pretty much the same. So, I don't roll the.
Is it intelligence plus the lore?
Yeah, would it be intelligence?
Yeah.
I'll do mythology. Just, I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're both the same thing on my sheet at the moment. So what is my
Justin? Do you know what this is?
8. Let me see. 8 plus 8. Oh, 8 plus 5.
13.
What was the total?
13.
13. Looking down my list, 13 beats hard. I'd say that you identify that it looks like it is like either a mock-up or like an homage to like witches like crafting material. I'm trying to look for the actual word for it. I think it's hex, but let me hex is also a spell depending what universe you're in. So
you know what this would go good with? This would go good with my D&D one shot.
Hex. It looks like well, I guess a hex bag kind of, although it's not really a bag. What is it? We'll call it a charm. You've seen it like other like
a talisman.
Like a witch's charm. Not quite a talisman. A talisman is something you wear.
Or like not a talisman, but a like a ward, maybe.
A ward is a good way to like. Yeah. It looks kind of forbidding based on having some bones kind of sewn in there. So yeah, I think a ward looks pretty good. Yeah.
Hey, I can see it now. I think this will look great in my D&D one shot.
I feel like you might want to put that back though, because it was probably put there for a reason. Is what I know.
Justin,
I mean, it does look like okay. So you've seen like any amount of anime, right? Where they have all the wards all over the place, and then somebody takes one down, and then that lets all the evil stuff in. I feel like that is kind of one of the same sort of things. You might want to put that
Justin,
back.
Those are shows.
You are a religious nutbag, and I'm not.
What? I'm a nutbag.
I mean, on the grand scale of things, relative to the rest of us, you're basically like a priest.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Speaking.
You're not wrong.
But thank you.
Still,
on.
I mean, if somebody saw you walking around with that,
anything to do with your religion?
No.
Do you believe in it?
Probably not. But I mean,
right.
no. The problem is though. However, somebody put that there, and like, what if they get mad if saw you walking around with it?
Then we have to fight off some edgelord teenager.
Like, what if it was Joe?
Well, then I'll give it back to him.
Did that?
It's all right. He won't notice.
All right, that's gonna be on my mind for the rest of the time. Now we're gonna be walking, and I'm just gonna be like,
"What if I get caught?
I just gotta put that back. We're gonna get caught, and we're gonna get kicked out. That's what's gonna happen.
You're not
we're gonna get kicked out. We're
on
gonna
to
get
stick.
kicked out of this place. If okay."
So he's
You're
one of
not going to
those
get kicked
people.
out for holding onto sticks.
Well,
They can make
you know,
another one.
From behind,
Oh, hold on, real
female
quick.
voice. Sure, shoot.
I pick up 2 sticks and I lash together a quick cross with it, and I hand it to him. Here you go, buddy.
it doesn't.
It's ancient.
What are you even doing?
I'm handing you.
I'm surprised this
protection.
thing didn't burn as you made it.
I did fashion it upside down.
Just interrupt.
From behind, you guys hear a woman's voice calling out, saying, "Could you idiots be any louder?"
See, that's what I'm saying. Somebody, you know.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, that's kind of rude.
And as you turn, a woman, again, we'll say Patrick's age, so like probably maybe late 30s, early 40s, is coming down the trail behind you guys, and she looks like she is like set up straight up hiking gear, massive backpack strapped over her shoulders and across her waist, big like hiking boots that look like they're pretty diesel, and she's got her hair kind of like tied back. She looks nice enough under normal circumstances, but right now she just looks really ticked off. And she's like, "Some people come to the remote campground with the nice secluded trees for peace and quiet."
Sorry, I didn't think our voices
Some
would
people
travel
don't.
that far. Are you from cabin number 4?
Who's asking?
Me,
Cabins
literally.
1 and 2.
Great. The creepy perverts want to know if I'm sleeping in cabin 4 all by myself. Yes. Yes.
We didn't ask if you were by yourself.
That's exactly right.
That's
Especially when
pretty
Joseph said
presumptuous.
But
That
now that
assumes-
you've brought it up,
well,
You guys are creeps. Keep your voice down. There are other people here.
bye, happy lady.
do you want a beer?
Like a prim, like a smile, and kind of she turns and walks the other direction.
I'm.
Wait, did you say she gave us a smile?
It's like it's one of those like thanks for existing. Yeah, smiles.
Oh, okay,
That's cute.
gotcha.
I'm simultaneously like kind of angry that this happened, and also like just really like, oh god, I can't believe we just got yelled at by somebody.
You didn't get yelled at. She's just a bitch.
Yeah, she's just kind of being a bitch.
Yeah, I know, but like,
Just like you. Stop being a
I
bitch.
don't know. I don't like to make waves. All right, I don't like to.
I know. Would it help if I slapped you in the butt?
Yes.
Hey, Chris, slap him in the butt.
Ooh. 10 minutes to cut that out.
All right. You guys make it. You guys continue on, I assume.
What are the other 3 doing?
The other 3, Peter and Steven are just checking their climbing gear. They're not planning on climbing right now, but they wanted to make sure everything was in good repair, so they brought it with them. And they might stake out a spot just to save themselves some time for if they go tomorrow morning.
And Baldy?
And Baldy, the other Baldy of the 3 Baldies in the goddamn group,
The really old one.
Dustin is breathing heavily and regretting coming with you guys because he doesn't like walking, hiking, or anything. He comes for board games.
Dustin, why'd you even come out here?
Because I didn't want to be alone.
Oh.
Liar.
You came up here to get away from the wife and kids.
Yeah, but it's too quiet in the cabin by myself. It's not quiet at my house ever anymore.
I mean, if you ever miss home, you can just kind of hold Justin. He's kind of like a baby.
Yeah, that's actually the plan. I'm kind of sad that I'm in with Peter and Steven now for the
I
cabin.
was gonna say you're in a totally different cabin than me.
Well, Chris called dibs, so
I did. I
That's
did
true.
call dibs.
I mean, the floor's empty in cabin 1.
no, thank you. I don't want to. I've seen Chris farts.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've
I
also
can't be
smelled.
floor level in the same cabin. I'm just saying, I'll pass out. Like straight, like yeah, I'll asphyxiate. No thanks.
So onward.
I don't even have my Goram dice tray near me, and I'm not gonna go get it because I don't know where I put it when you came over, Chris.
It's
I got
under the stairs. It was under the stairs.
I found it. It was. I had moved it.
Right
It's
in
just
front
a
of you?
bunch things. Yeah, it was.
His
was- it
desk
was right in
is
front of me. Shut up. I'm actually gonna give them a
impressive. It's busy. His desk is busy.
He's trying to say I'm sloppy AF, but
I mean, I could show you my desk. Mine's not much better, actually.
Yeah, the guys don't notice anything additional to what you guys do. I will say though that pieces, you know, we could always just when we get back to the cabin, we're supposed to have Wi-Fi. Nick said, let's just Google. Let's just Google if there are any. You said like a witch's charm, right? Let's Google witches in the area. I mean, if there's anything, maybe it'll be an interesting read.
Pete said that?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just trying to give everyone speaking parts. Steve says,
"You must be fun on Earth Day."
I wouldn't have touched that either. Yeah, no thanks. Maybe don't bring it in the cabin.
Or just leave it in cabin too.
It just looks gross.
You can put it in a bag.
You ever try to tell Chris not to do something?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, if he's telling me not to bring it, he's getting the big old middle finger. That's my favorite response.
All right, I tried. It's fine. Let's go. Let's get set up, please.
Steve, do you want a beer?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I get one that you didn't make though?
You don't want my beer too? Weird. All right, Pat, give him one of yours.
This one tastes like Pete made it. It's gross. The only beer of Pete's I had, he named something awful because it was not good.
He named one Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law
out of the closet.
Murphy's Law was not good.
I actually have a bottle of Murphy's Law downstairs.
I left mine in the thing.
Yeah, it is yours. I'm drinking it.
Oh, I want it.
Yes, we do.
It's true.
We could summarize that faster. It's Chris and Patrick and Peter. That's it.
Yep.
So half.
Steve's backing me up on the crapping on Pete's beer, even though I put it on Chris's beer because I want.
It's true. It's true. He was telling people.
Oh no, it's fine. All right, so
Justin, that's why we love you.
You guys get to the edge of the kind of rock wall, the kind of area climbing that's interesting to Pete and Steve. They start setting some stuff up. They just kind of mark out where they're going to do their climb for tomorrow, which is like extremely disinteresting to everyone else because you guys are lazy and don't climb. So you guys are kind of looking down along. If you guys look out over the lake, they're on the eastern wall of this clearing area where you can't quite get to from walking. You'd have to probably take a boat or a swim. There is another stretch of land that does butt up against the rock wall. It does appear that there is a cave over there. Like you can kind of see a relatively large opening into the rock wall. It's not like on your map or anything. It's not marked, but that is, yeah, someone just pinged it. It's on the stretch of land to the far east of the lake. And there is a visible cave from where you guys are.
What time of day is it?
In terms of how long it takes you to get there, walking where you guys are, I'd say it takes you probably it probably took you guys another 40 minutes just hiking to get to the spot you're at now. And what was your question for that, Chris?
I was gonna say, what time of day is it?
So you guys started, we'll call 1. It's like 2:30 because you guys have been talking, gabbing, walking slowly.
And we're back at the cabin. Is that what you said?
No. You guys are still there. If you guys want to head back, it would be closer to. Let's see. So we just had about 40 minutes.
I just thought it was kind of weird that you mentioned the cave, while we're not at camp.
You're not at camp. You guys are at the rock wall at the back of the forest. Let me ping that in roll 20. So you guys are kind of over here.
Oh, this isn't to scale.
Oh, no. This is not. I'm so sorry.
Oh, all right.
Not remotely to scale. Those cabins would be much, much, much smaller. And are you guys seeing a grid view on this? I was supposed to turn the grid off. So you guys didn't think it was.
Yeah, we do see the grid.
The grid is off.
I just assumed this was to scale.
No, I had
it's like
no
one of those
interest in making
cartoon maps that you get from a campground that they draw hand by hand.
I was actually using one of those as reference. So yes, it's 100% like a map of the zoo where everything's done bigger and comically, so you can kind of locate where it is. But this in no way reflects how big everything is. I don't know. I didn't want to spend the time on that. So the path that you guys took, and I guess I'll draw it in. So we have.
Well, I guess it makes more sense now why that bitch was pissed off.
You guys kind of entered in from about here, and that's not doing a thing. Freehand, that's the ticket. I was drawing a shape. As we go around, and now it's yellow. I hate Roll20 when it does art. Let's try that again.
Podcast gonna love this part.
We'll post a picture to the Twitter, right? And I'm drawing a shape again. I quit. Right, the path goes kind of where that ugly brown streak is, back towards the wall, almost like a straight shot.
Is that streak following Justin?
Not quite. So as you guys get to the rock wall at the end of the path, you can see like further along the rock wall, and that's where you notice that if you were to go kind of across the lake there is a cavernous entrance. I don't think you could see the cave entrance from the cabins themselves. It'd be too far.
Can we see this cave?
You can see it from where you are. But it's pretty far away. It's across the lake. It's several hundred feet away from you guys. And
guys, it's a cave over there.
Difficult to get.
Stay away from it because there's probably bears in there.
I love caves.
Do you love bears?
I don't love bears.
Patrick, do you think there'll be bears in there?
Well, it's Vermont, so there are bears, but they're normally black bears. I still wouldn't want to mess with them, but we can always ask Joseph if they have a
boat.
If we have the ability to check out the cave, because that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, we could borrow some canoes or something like that. Kayaks, that'd be kind of cool. You want to do that tomorrow?
Yeah.
No, I'd actually be up for this.
Yeah.
I guess. Says Dustin.
But Justin, somebody put the cave all the way over there on purpose so that you wouldn't mess with it.
Yeah, but it's a cave, and I do like caves. Caves are really cool. Although,
no, just if there's something in the cave, it has to stay there.
Do we have any thematic games that we could play in the cave? I think that'd be kind of cool.
I brought Caverna.
Idea.
Caverna.
Hey, there you go.
Do it.
You guys want to head back and start now?
Yeah, we can get dinner started.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Your path back to camp, you guys still take the slow road. You'll get back to camp around 3 or 4 o'clock at this point. Sun's still pretty high up in the sky, but you guys can start working on getting dinner together, unpacking everything in the cabins now that you guys have explored at least a little bit of the lay of the land. And you don't see the woman again. You guys don't make any contact with her. Also, Joseph seems out for most of the day. Although, unless you guys have something specific you guys want to chat about or cover, I'll fast forward.
Are there kayaks available or canoes?
When you guys head over, because you can kind of see the back of Joe's cabin or Joseph's cabin from cabin 1 where you guys are staying. Yeah, he's got some kayaks tucked up against the wall and one canoe like on racks against the back of his cabin.
All right. I know how to ride a canoe. Does anybody else know how to use a canoe?
Yep.
I don't think you ride.
I think everyone here would know how to use a canoe. Get in canoe. Canoe.
I mean, you'd be very surprised, Patrick. You all people should know.
That was one of the few merit badges I got in Boy Scouts.
You can kneel in a canoe. Don't sit on it. You roll it. I do want to take a look. Just if the cabin has any. Sometimes when you go to campgrounds, there's the information booth. They have the pamphlets and stuff on the outside. I'm just wondering if they have any pamphlets about like features in the camp and things to look out for. Maybe they have something about local lore and whatnot.
So for like
something on the giant stone man.
What you guys are talking about, not so much. You do find in the cabins themselves, kind of like tucked in like the I don't know, like a table by the beds. each of you has like a little pamphlet of information about like rules and regulations of the campground. That seems to be really the only published material. This place is pretty new. You guys are one of the first visitors. Nick, for whatever reason, had a bit of an inn that got you guys here. This isn't like the first time it's ever been used, but it is new. So some of the things are probably still coming. Might be worth asking Joseph about. But in terms of the rules and regulations pamphlet, it does talk about be mindful of traveling at night in the woods, as there is local wildlife, including but not limited to bears, in terms of like the biggest threat. So be very mindful about wood safety. The kayaks, there's a listing. It costs I think $10 a day to rent one of the kayaks or canoe. The price isn't different.
Pat, you want to get me and I'll Venmo you later?
Yep.
In terms of the, let's see, other rules and regulations, they do have kind of like noise regulations, or they do want noise to be relatively low.
Quiet hours, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, sure. Quiet hours, 11 o'clock. We'll use your campground expertise to kind of draw to that. But again, they also have some times posted for like the every other night they do they do a fire pit at the Stone Man. There's no lore on the Stone Man, but you guys do have Wi-Fi in each of your cabins. So if you do want to do a quick Google, you guys would be able to find information.
Okay. I just leave a note on the notepad asking what the story is about the cave and whether we could, whether we're allowed to visit it or not.
Okay. Yeah, the cave was not listed on the safety precautions, so that's fine. In terms of Googling for the Stone Man in Helvetica, Vermont, are you guys
Helvetica?
Yeah, that's the name of the town.
Okay. Thank God it's not Comic Sans. I hate that place.
Papyrus is just the worst.
All right. Do you guys have anything else you're doing, or do you want to look up information on the Stone Man?
Yeah, I would definitely be looking up the Stone Man. I don't have the patience to wait for Joseph.
All right. So research in the game does have like a time component. I'll give you, say, like you take one rough draft, look over it, see if you can find anything. Give me a roll of, we'll call it intelligence with whatever skill you want to apply to this quick Google search.
I mean, it realistically would probably still be lore.
That's fine.
Roll 1d8. Except I spelled it wrong.
Yeah, he spelled 1D and 8 wrong.
Roll
It's
1d. I didn't.
And I'm making food for everybody except for Patrick because he is a vegetarian and I don't know what they eat.
It's true. I got a 7.
And Justin, is it going to be gluten-free food for Justin, or are you trying to get him?
I mean, it's burgers.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably just
He'll
eat
eat
whatever.
burgers.
Yeah, I'll eat all the meat, potatoes,
Exactly.
and whatever.
Sure.
I'm probably gonna be walking around acting like I'm trying to help, but like secretly being like, yeah, no, I'm not actually helping. So yeah,
I'm just gonna wind that back. You're gonna eat Chris's meat and potatoes.
yes,
That's it. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure you phrase
All of
that
it.
just how you want it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just 2 potatoes.
It should be fine.
let's not worry about that. For the 7, so the local information of it, you don't find too much, like there's no like townie reports, you don't find any like real in-depth review, but like in like the Wikipedia page there is a blurb about the Stone Man of Helvetica. It is a local legend, thought to be an evil spirit that was made like physically manifest so that it could be like frozen and no longer bother the locals. That is the lightest information you can find. It doesn't seem to have much like corresponding material. There's not even like a helpful, like this is where I found this information down the bottom. There's no annotation. The local references say that it used to be a tourist attraction, but after the I don't have a name for it. After the previous campgrounds closed down about 20 years ago, it has kind of fallen out of the limelight. So it's like just a small footnote there that about 20 years ago, there used to be a camp that was featured there, and that's kind of what helped bring attention to the legend, and it's since been defunct.
Okay. So I I'd carry it up, bring it out to the guys. Hey guys, I looked up the giant stone, dude. It's this place used to be basically like Spooky World, the haunted
the
house
Stone
campground.
Man is basically Jason.
What was that?
So the Stone Man was basically Jason.
I wasn't gonna say that, but
I could probably have asked Jen. I could probably ask my wife if she knows anything. She's from Vermont and she loves that kind of stuff.
yeah, the Stone Man is basically like a ghost dick that they froze in place so that he'd stop being a dick.
That's pretty cool. Patrick, did you figure out what you're eating?
Did I figure out what I'm eating?
Yeah, what are you eating?
Don't worry about it. I always cook my own food.
Justin, we're probably not going to
don't
need
know
the
how to
map
cook
for a bit, so
vegetables.
if you want to switch to the regular windows. So now as you guys are kind of debating food, Justin, if you want to call Jen and you wanted to throw a plot point at it, I'd give you more details.
I'd text her and throw a plot point at it, sure.
Oh yeah,
Sure,
and everybody has 6 to start with.
Start with 6. You will get them. The biggest way to get them is by using your complications, which we added to yourselves last week, which I will put a list up. Those will be rotating in the rotating window coming up. I just didn't have time to put them together this time. But for next week, you in the rotating window will see like a character sheet with the complications listed. When you use those and use them well, you get plot points back for that because they hurt your roll. And the reason why you do that is for those plot points to affect the story. Also, if you guys do awesome things, you'll get plot points for it. So that's kind of the goal there. Sorry, Michael, what's that?
I was gonna say smartass. We might want to like take that off of us.
Take what? Oh, smartass. Why is that?
Because we've used it like 20 times already.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you have to be a smart.
I forgot I had that on my my sheet.
Probably smartass to somebody that it would be
part of the group.
Yeah, and it would be,
Well, think about it. All of us did it to that girl.
Too.
All of us did it to.
That wasn't really smartass as much as rude dickheads.
Well, we were rude because she was rude, and we weren't rude to Joseph.
Yeah, well, I will see it, but yeah, when you throw it down there, it's also like you have to use it in a roll. It's not so much I guess.
No, you don't have to use it as a roll. You just have to compel against it, or role play towards it in a way that significantly affects the story. That's all.
Yes, thank you. It has an effect. That's the word I was looking for. You have to have an effect. Some are negative dice to your rolls. Others are moves the plot in a certain way, usually against you, and that's why you're getting plot points back. So for the spent plot point, you call up Jen, and Jen's like, oh, yeah, totally. Native American legend. It was actually kind of a cool one. There was some sort of Indian war chief that came back to haunt anyone in the town because of how bad his people were treated when, Manifest Destiny or some shit came through.
Sounds exactly like Jen.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like something she would know.
It actually used to be tied to like almost biblical like plagues, which is kind of weird. But also, if I'm not mistaken, I think there were some people who died from it, and that's when supposedly the locals got together and stoned the thing.
Yeah, I just thought you'd think that'd be cool. Like, hey, we're over here. Yeah.
Well, there you go, Justin. Proof that the little figurine that Chris picked up has nothing to do with this. Blair Witch Project wasn't around back then.
Wait, oh yeah, hey, actually, you know what? There's something. Do you know anything about this? And I take a picture and I send it to her. The
Great, you've just killed Jen.
That Chris picked up.
Why are you touching that?
I didn't touch it. I told him not to, and this is definitely something. If it is a witchy thing, definitely something.
That's straight up like witchcraft, and not like the Wiccan, like what actual like witches are. This is like the bad dark magic, like voodoo type.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's exactly what I thought it was. I told him not to touch it. Chris, put that back.
No.
Chris, put that back.
Is that you, Dustin?
No, this is still.
All right.
He is channeling her pretty well. And I would also, at that point in time, I just start like doodling little devil figures all over the place, like I usually do. Pentagrams everywhere.
Do you mean like warding symbols, Patrick?
No. I mean just straight up like heavy metal, pentagram.
Gotcha. All right.
Not with any actual purpose to it.
Okay.
That's
Pat, stop. We're gonna lose our deposit.
Oh, I'm not drawing it on like dirt in the ground and whatnot.
Yeah, Jen's not impressed. She thinks that thing's has power and would like you to get rid of it ASAP.
It's
The
got
Stone
juju.
Man, she thinks it's kind of a fun legend, but it's not one that she puts too much stock in because
yeah.
also it's been out of the limelight for 2 decades.
yeah.
Well,
So
you guys are crazy. So yeah, who wants to play some games?
I mean, I know she's a little superstitious, but I mean, it's kind of weird for that to be there. Just saying.
I mean, Jen doesn't surprise me. You, Justin, you surprise me.
What?
What?
How?
What? Being superstitious and all?
I'm not superstitious. It's just kind of like
Coming across as a little superstitious.
I just wouldn't touch it. I just wouldn't touch it though. I
Well,
mean,
there's animal bones in it?
Paranoid.
Because there's animal
Yeah.
bones in it?
I mean, well, yeah,
It
that's
doesn't smell
gross.
bad. Does it smell bad?
I don't know. I didn't get my face close.
No,
I
no,
don't
Dustin-
get it
Dustin,
out of my face.
It smells musty and gross. Like
No, it doesn't smell bad. It's fine. Justin, check it.
No, get that out of here. Get out of here. Jeez.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward a little
Sure.
bit. You guys eat dinner. Patrick eats some vegetarian crap. Justin eats more of the bread than he intended from the meat and potatoes, and maybe the bathroom a little bit, a lot of it. Dustin has probably at this point had a little bit too much to drink because he started earlier than he normally
Is he
did.
wearing a pot on his head?
He is not wearing a pot on his head. He's
Okay.
actually passed the F out. Drinking
Alright.
and exertion and like the trip up here, like the hours of driving, that was unfortunate. Yeah, he's out. And this is like his vacation is sleeping away from kids.
Well, it's better than the alternative.
All right. So while Dustin's passed that, how are we messing with him?
Hey, good.
Oh, guys, I have an idea. Does anybody have a Sharpie? We can draw hair on his head.
Done.
We don't have all night.
Wait, I have a skill for that. I have artistry.
There you go, Justin.
That kid, he just doesn't have the balls for a camp out.
Are you making ball jokes because my balls hurt?
Yes.
Great. Yeah, for viewers, post-vasectomy pain syndrome is totally a thing, and it's unpleasant. So yeah.
So we got to make fun of Dustin for it, that, of course.
You're
You're in pain.
Are you guys drawing hair on Dustin?
No, Justin is.
Justin, are you drawing hair on Dustin?
That's not actually something I would do, though.
You're right. You're right. In fact, actually, we wouldn't
Patrick,
mess with
are
them.
you drawing hair on Dustin?
Because I wouldn't want people messing with me.
No.
Is it a Sharpie?
I
It's
might
a
be
Sharpie.
putting things
Yeah.
on you,
Oh,
and I might be
I
taking
wouldn't do it in
pictures.
Sharpie.
Peter,
Oh, you know what?
Peter
You know what?
would. Peter draws on Sharpie and adds some like Charlie
No.
Brown style.
I'd be adding beer cans all around your head, just kind of stacking them up as I finish them.
Yep.
Okay.
Agreed.
Yep, that'd be my extent.
You'd
of
be
a prank.
entombed in cans.
Guys, let's see if we can cover his head.
All right, Peter Sharpies Dustin, and one of those Telltale game things comes up and says, "Dustin, we'll remember that."
Justin won't. He's too drunk.
And all right, we're gonna move to that. So as the sun sets, you guys have eaten. You guys are all probably a little tipsy, except for Patrick because he has a drinking problem, and this is just a normal Tuesday for him.
The hell.
The fire pit's brought out. You guys do see Joseph, kind of getting stuff together, and the other traveler you guys had encountered in the woods. The woman has also come out and is sitting at like a lawn chair. Joseph has provided lawn chairs, so you can kind of grab them and grab a seat around the fire if you'd like.
Bird.
Doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Grabbing another drink and
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't finished this one yet, but
Steve hangs back and he says, I'm not feeling so good. I think I might have eaten something that wasn't great. I'm gonna crash in the cabin with Dustin, I think. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow night. Or tomorrow morning.
I told you if you were going to grab mint off the ground to do it away from the trail. Deer peer on that. Deer pee on that. Deer peer. I can't talk. All right.
I instantly start worrying that I'm gonna feel sick because somebody else got sick and we ate the same things. So
Yeah.
Pete, how do you feel?
I feel fine.
Yeah.
That's
Mike?
Pete.
This is
I know.
great.
I know that nobody knows him, but that was a perfect.
That was a
That was
really
a
good impersonation
perfect
of Pete.
impersonation.
Specifically drunk Pete, but that's
Oh
fine.
yeah.
I know nobody. Yeah, that's perfect. Great.
Well, we're doing a guest show with them, right?
Yeah, I'll make a segue.
Pitch
We
it-
are
yeah,
going to be
pitch it
doing
later.
a guest stream with Peter. I think Steve is on board with it. I keep asking him. I can't remember if he said yes or not. My wife and Angel. So we will have a guest stream coming up. So you guys will see what Peter and Steven look like in the future. For now, though, Stevenson says to Peter, "We're still on for tomorrow morning, right?" And Peter says, "Yep." And he's like, "Awesome." And he heads back to the cabin and does not join you guys at the fire pit. Peter does, though. You still have Peter with you as you guys kind of pull up chairs around the fire pit. Peter went back to the car at some point to get s'mores, so you guys are hooked up.
Bacon s'mores? Bacon s'mores, guys?
Is there
Bacon
peanut
s'mores?
butter? Is there peanut butter there? Because if there's no
Bacon
peanut butter,
s'mores are a thing. They are phenomenal.
if
I
there's
don't
no
eat
peanut butter
marshmallow
there,
because it's not vegetarian.
Would Peter have brought all of those things?
I would have brought
we
peanut
would
butter.
we would have definitely brought bacon.
Yep.
Justin would have brought peanut butter, and
Yep.
he would have brought s'mores. So yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Fine.
Good. That's the important part.
Again, having camped with these guys, I can confirm.
Yep. Again, I can actually provide pictures.
As this is Michael's first time camping with the group, he is just taking it all in, and like I'm assuming some parts thinks you guys are disgusting, other parts thinks a board game camping trip is a great idea. I will say you guys got a quick game of something in before coming out. We'll say Caverna, just for the sake of having a game you play. You know what? I want to keep a running tab.
Good time. Oh.
And you guys do sit down. The woman who is still unnamed, like watches whoever is making the bacon peanut butter s'mores and is looking thoroughly disgusted. However, she does take Pete's offered regular s'mores, as in like the graham crackers, Hershey bar, and marshmallows. So she's not completely standoffish. She's just like, you guys.
Don't knock it till you try it.
At some point, I'd probably try to apologize for being loud earlier.
It's true, he would. I would counter by being louder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You know what? Give it to me in scene as you guys are sitting down and Joseph's still setting stuff up.
Yeah, sure. Like, oh, hey, by the way, sorry about earlier. You know, we're just kind of excited to be out here, and you know, you can get a little loud. Sorry.
Justin,
What?
are you apologizing for being a normal person?
I'm also sorry for him.
Don't be sorry for me. I'm not sorry for me.
Yeah.
She smiles and laughs. She seems to be in a bit of a better mood than before. I thought I had her name written out on here somewhere, but it looks like I have misplaced it. So she's going to be getting a new name. She reaches out a hand to you, Justin, to shake. And she says, my name's Ashley. Sorry about earlier. I came off a little bit strong. I mean, I did come here to get away from things, but also I'm a little high strung, you know, as it is. So I probably could have approached that more diplomatically as well.
No problem. My name's Justin.
Your other friend, the loud one?
Chris.
It's
That's the
which one?
Not the hairy one. The one that looks like he came out of a oh god.
LL Bean.
Yeah, sure. The LL Bean cutout.
Yeah, that's Patrick.
Patrick's still an asshole.
Yes, he is. Actually, that's our nickname for him. Like that. We don't even call him Patrick.
I'm just saying, you were rude first.
And all right. So, do you say anything else to Ashley while you have her there?
No, probably not. I mean,
no, she already thinks we're creeps.
Yeah. As
I do try to at least offer her some bacon peanut butter s'mores.
I offer her nothing but disdain.
You get the same back, and Chris, she kind of like grimaces at it, and she says, "That's really nice, but I'll take mine without the bacon and peanut butter, thank you."
Oh, it's the best part.
All right.
No, thank you. I prefer my bacon to be just bacon. For her dress now, much more casual and comfortable clothing, wearing sandals, shorts, t-shirt. She's not in the full camping gear. It looks like she came well prepared, unlike Dustin, who's going to be wearing the same outfit for about 4 days because he didn't pack anything else. He packed board games and nothing but. That's basically his MO. So as Joseph finally gets everything set up, the fire's lit and going, the stone man kind of towering over you guys has shadows flickering against it. You guys can see in the clearing the stars, way more stars than you would be seeing in your hometowns because of there's really no population around here to be counteracting the lights in the sky. And
can I add something for flavor?
Yes, please.
Just to pick at Justin a little bit more, I've got a semblance of I've got a bunch of little twigs and some rope I made out of grass, and I'm trying to fashion my own variation of that same figure from before, minus the bones.
I mean, come on, dude. I mean,
take off some of my hair. Throw some of that in there too.
I mean, it's really not a big deal, all right? I know it's not a big deal, whatever, okay?
We're doing this in secret, Justin. Mind your own business, Justin.
It's okay. I'm putting nothing but goodwill and good feelings in this one. It's a happy one.
Would you be anti putting bones on it? Or if you found chicken bones from the guy's dinner, would you use the chicken bones?
I'd probably hand it off to Chris to finish it because that's
Oh
gross.
yeah, I'd totally do it.
Okay, right. You guys do add.
We definitely do have bones.
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys do with this this thing created in secret?
Get back to Pat. What are you gonna do with it?
I just place it next to Justin's chair.
Okay. We'll say that happens while Joseph sits down and is saying, all right, sorry that I had to take off early on there. I need to get some supplies, and if I don't get it at the beginning of the week, I'm kind of out of luck. Do you guys have any questions for me? I heard that you guys went off into the woods a bit and were loud.
Oh, somebody complained about us.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. And
I'm not.
Ashley rolls her eyes, but otherwise ignores you guys. He said, sorry, I didn't get to get you guys know. There are actually bears in the woods, so, be mindful. I haven't fully cataloged all the wildlife just yet, but it can be pretty untamed out there. So just be mindful. Please don't go out at night unless you have like a really good reason to be doing so.
Oh, we were actually thinking about going to the cave across the lake tomorrow. Do you know anything about that?
Well, you're welcome to. That's fine. I've got boat rentals. You guys might have seen. I will say the locals say the cave is haunted.
All right.
But I mean, you guys also signed the liability waiver when you put reservations down. So as long as you guys are cool going in there under your own power, I mean, all for you guys. Go for it. Go nuts.
Have you been in it?
I poked in a little bit just to make sure that it wasn't an actual death trap. It does seem to just be a cave that goes back further into the mountain. I don't think it goes down or anything like that. So
you got flashlights or anything?
Okay, good. Then that should be fine then. As long as we don't like.
Do you have
I didn't go too far, so I don't want to stay getting past that. So be mindful, but at least a little bit in, you're fine.
Caves are dangerous.
I didn't notice any animal markings though, so you're probably fine on that front. But be mindful again. If you see scat or footprints, I recommend not going in that cave.
Cool.
Do you have any flashlights or a lantern that we can borrow?
Yeah, you know what? I've got one flashlight I can lend out per cabin. Sorry, I'm still kind of getting things up to stuck. And I do have a kerosene lantern. Yeah, you can totally use.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Kerosene
And
lamp.
if worse comes to worse, we could use our cell phones.
I was going to say, most cell phones are probably brighter than the flashlights they have anyways.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He pulls out like those lights that kind of look like an L upside down with like the very thick switches to flip. He's like, they're useful if like we lose power, but they're not great. I do have candles if you need them, but I'd rather you guys not walk through the forest with candles.
Probably a good
Understood.
idea.
Yeah, no, I don't want to carry a candle.
Yeah. So yeah, if you need candles for some reason in the cabins, I do have a lot of candles. I have,
Yeah,
I
no,
have
I'm
a
totally
significant number of candles.
Why you have so many candles?
Oh, just in case. You can never have too many candles, can you?
I mean, I guess not.
Boy Scout is prepared. Makes sense to me.
Exactly. And no electricity.
Candles don't run out of batteries.
But batteries do.
Great. What are you guys doing hereabouts? What brought you up here?
We're nerds.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah. We're gonna be playing board games and getting drunk all weekend. It's kind of like an annual thing. We do this a lot.
Yeah, Nick had mentioned that when he said board games. You mean like Monopoly?
yeah, like Monopoly.
All right. Seems like a weird thing.
How do you know Nick?
Through work.
You stream?
Yeah, you're a live streamer?
No, you know what? I watch his stream. I know his,
all right.
his work.
Oh.
Yeah, I watch his stream every night.
Oh, so you're into games then? Into video games?
Sure.
I didn't realize anybody watched people stream.
Yeah, I mean, I go mostly to for the environment, right? I guess I'm not really watching the game so much.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like the community and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, talk to the people in chat.
I didn't really understand it myself either. I thought it was kind of weird, but then I started getting into it, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy, and the groups in his channel, real great. Yeah, that's why I know Nick.
Huh. All right, cool.
MC's.
Streams on the day he's not supposed to be streaming.
All right. So Ashley, you've been here for a little bit longer, but do you want to share with the guys as to why you're here? And Ashley says, yeah, I guess I can do that. I'm here. I like to go places that have local legends or, stories of hauntings or things like that. And I do a little reporting or blogging on the side. So, yeah, I'm mostly here for investigating.
Investigating?
Yeah, the Stone Man legends, the Witch in the Woods, just it's a little area, like a little secluded area, and there's a surprising amount of spirits that are said to manifest here. And
I used to do that in the Bridgewater Triangle when I was in high school.
Bridgewater, Massachusetts?
And Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah, that's fake, right?
Yeah, well, I was in high school.
All of that stuff's fake?
What about the Witch in the Woods, though?
She gives you a glare, Patrick, like one eyebrow up, like not having any of your shit.
Boogity boogity.
Yeah, but what about the Witch in the Woods, though?
Their local rumors say it was a witch that actually caused the campground to close down last time before Joseph here reopened it, a month or two back. It was a big issue, witchcraft out in the woods, and it's again local legend. They need some reason to say why businesses fail, and of course it's witchcraft, right?
So I'm honest. I don't know.
Okay.
That's one of my complications is that I'm honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up the fact that funny you should mention that because we actually found something that looks just like a witch's. Maybe you'd be interested in it. It just looks just like kind of like a ward, like a witch's ward.
You mean like that thing right next to you? And I point at the.
Oh come on! Oh, yeah, real funny.
Justin, it has my hair in it. Justin.
And the bones.
Justin.
Yeah.
Got my hair in it.
I can see that.
Look, I chopped off a lock just for you, bud.
Yeah, you look real dumb now.
I mean,
dumber. Dumber.
Like what else is new?
But yeah, and I don't think we have it with us, do we?
It's in my bag in the cabin.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of sticks with and I basically just say exactly what it looked like.
And the one that they made is like a reasonable approximation.
Yeah.
So you have an example. She says, and you touched it?
I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it. That was no, not me. That was this one over here. Really one.
Even being a skeptic, like a professional skeptic.
Yeah.
I've seen horror movies before.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I wouldn't touch it. I mean, I'd leave it where it is, just in case.
If you guys aren't partial to it, I'd love to get a look at it and maybe sketch it out, or even get a picture of it for my blog.
Yeah,
sure.
Why not?
Like right now?
I'm not coming to your cabin after dark.
All right, fine.
Maybe tomorrow if I run into you guys in the morning.
Nope, good.
I mean,
I'm not getting up from here. My ass is parked.
She does seem a little bit more interested, but she lets it go at that, and she just kind of watches you guys talk a bit more. Her interest is notable, though. Before, where she was kind of dismissing you guys, especially Patrick, now she's paying attention to you guys, except Patrick.
I'm drawing more symbols in the dirt. Woogity boogity boogity.
I might end up talking to her a bit more about like that kind of stuff. Like, you know.
Yeah,
my wife has actually really a lot of interest in this stuff, so I kind of know a bit about it by association.
Is there anything in particular you want to talk to her about?
No, just mostly like asking like what other types of things she might have reported on or blogged about, things like that.
Okay, yeah, she'll give you some general stuff. She gives you like the blog address. It is, I'll wait till you guys open it up. That's fine. If you guys end up doing that. The website itself is just called Hunting Spirits. That's all. huntingspirits.blogspot.com or some shit. It's fine. I hope that's on an actual website. I probably should have looked that up before I said that out loud.
It probably is.
huntingspirits.blogspot.com. No.
It doesn't exist.
Owned it. I should probably
register now. Register now.
If we were more popular, it would exist by now.
All right. So yeah, Hunting Spirits, and you guys can look it up later if you want. She just has a little side business where she likes to go and research and blog things when she has some vacation time. Is how she describes it, anyways. I don't think this game is big on. So like one thing we do often with Starfinder was we would try and sense motive. I don't see any reason why you guys wouldn't believe what she's saying. So I don't know that there's a reason for roles there. Do any of you guys have any different considerations for that though?
No, especially when I'm half cocked. You know?
Yeah, and we're just kind of like hanging out. It wouldn't be like I wouldn't go up to a normal person and be like, "No, you're lying." You know.
Okay.
Wouldn't do that.
There was something in the book I saw about detecting lies, but I don't remember what it was. So.
It is probably perception, the deduction one. Maybe?
I have perception, empathy.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And are you making a roll? I wasn't paying attention.
I'm not, but I do have perception, empathy. That is something to detect lying, but I don't think that she's lying at all.
Well, again, it wouldn't be two skills. It would be a skill and an attribute, and in that case, it would probably be willpower is the
I would say probably alertness.
Charisma.
Yeah, I'd actually probably say that would be. I'd allow alertness. Well, you know what? Honestly, you could make a pitch for most things. I could actually give any of the mental ones intelligence or willpower. Any of the three could potentially come into play. But if you guys aren't making an active effort for it and you don't,
I don't care.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Move on. Get to the monster.
Yeah, her stuff was so uninteresting. Yeah.
So, all right. Do you guys have any questions for Joseph now? Because he's kind of just sitting there. He's got a beer in hand and he's staring kind of like idly into the fire. He doesn't.
Nope. I'm probably shotgunning a beer with Pete now.
Yeah, Pete is like sloppy drunk.
Oh yeah,
Verna took extra long because.
And that means he's definitely shotgunning a beer with me.
Oh yeah,
I probably got a little toasted.
All right.
I have never been drunk.
It's legal in Vermont right now, so you know.
Patrick is just shouting like, "I have never been drunk."
That is what I shout when I am drunk.
That is actually what.
Almost verbatim.
Yeah.
I'm not drunk.
You had questions for Joseph about the Stone Man. Did you want to follow up on those legends?
Oh well, yeah. he said he had some stories about it.
Yeah.
I would just ask him. I'd say, "Oh, hey, I looked it up. This is what we found. Do you have anything to add? Because there wasn't much."
Yeah, I guess I can go into that a little bit. It's kind of what drew me to the area, actually. The Stone Man used to be a Native American war chief. He went by the name of Falling Stone. He supposedly was known as like a great war chief because he would lure people into ravines such as this one, and then use the natural landscape against the enemies to like create rock slides and crush his enemies. The settlers that eventually came through and got rid of him did so by barricading him in and setting parts of the forest to fire, using some of his own tactics against him. His spirit supposedly haunted the area ever after, and that's why there's nearly no civilization has grown into this area, which is otherwise, as you see, rather nice. There was a campground for a while. Whether it was the spirit of falling stone or witches in the woods that caused it to shut down, I can't say, but definitely some people still say they see his spirit up in the mountains when they're climbing or hiking, and he's always trying to push rocks on people, so the stories go.
Rocks fall, you die.
Oh, hey, you got my RPG joke.
Yep.
I got jokes. The supposedly his spirit, they had to find a way to manifest it in the real world and then have sunlight, the sunrise hit his spirit. And when they did this, it formed our friend, who he points is only a couple feet away from you guys, the Stone Man.
Oh, so he's a troll. Huh.
I guess if you're a Lord of the Rings enthusiast,
Hello.
Troll.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's a nice centerpiece.
It's a fantastic centerpiece.
It does get some visitors up. I get athlete types often. I get other hunters up. Big game hunters, like animals and stuff, bears and stuff.
Yeah.
And then glampers such as you nerds. Yeah. So yeah, it's a nice little area, and it's nice to finally settle down.
What did you do before this?
Traveled a lot.
Pretty awesome.
I did odd jobs all over the states. Yeah, I'll leave it for that. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I do odd jobs too.
Did you study a lot?
Do I look like a nerd?
Oh, no. Sorry.
I got you.
That was just a joke. Sorry.
I
don't expect
you
to
Justin
get
a high
it.
five. I'm like, good reference, but
For those of you who don't know,
I don't get
they're
it.
referencing an anime called Golden Boy.
Oh,
best
God.
6 episodes of your life. Watch
So
it.
good.
I can't tell you how many times, over 20 times I've seen it. Over.
That explanation.
Anyways,
was
continue.
obviously out of character.
No, it's fine. No, I appreciate the references. Moving away from Golden Boy, we'll have to have like a list of Supernatural is like all the songs I listen to. For us, it's gonna be shitty anime we reference. We'll have to have a list of that.
Yeah.
That anime is not shitty.
Yes.
That is
really,
a
you
great
like it,
anime.
Patrick?
Sir.
I
Take
love
that
that anime. I've seen that
back.
anime like
Good, sir.
7 times.
I've never
Only
heard
7.
you talk about it because those two idiots, Justin and Chris.
Because I'm a normie.
Okay, all right. Well, with your recommendation, I might actually watch it. With Justin and Chris, I tend to stay away.
I want to watch it with you.
Oh, come on. You always ask my opinions
Sure.
on everything.
Justin,
will I like
for the
this?
after party.
Yeah, save it for the after party.
Okay, fine.
Continue.
You guys wrap up. I don't think you guys have too much to say. Also, you guys are like getting sleepy from just how much you're drinking. You guys want to play another game, and like Patrick's like, let's play Resistance. And everyone,
I'm going to bed.
Never mind. I'm going to bed.
Accurate.
And you guys all go to your respective cabins. You kind of get ready for bed. Peter looks like
Justin, I'll be the big spoon tonight.
You guys are in your cabin for probably 10 minutes when you hear a banging on your door.
Whoa, what was that?
Occupied.
I'm still sleeping.
Guys,
What do you
it's
want?
me, and it's Peter yelling.
What?
Oh, Pete, what's up?
The door's unlocked. What do you?
Yeah,
Just come in.
He opens it. He looks like paler than normal, and he says, "Dustin's missing."
What?
He probably went to crap in the woods again.
Yeah, he's probably shitting himself.
There's a bathroom in the cabin, and it's not.
And
no.
he was drunk. You saw him.
All right. Well, it's getting late. Should we go look for him?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
No, but I mean, does anyone really like Dustin?
Oh, come on. Gotta go.
Also, I found some weird stuff by his bed, and I'm kind of grossed out.
He probably shit himself.
Like what? Like what?
All right, let's go look by his bed.
Oh God, I bet it's his ball medicine.
His medicine.
As you walk over, Pete's like trying not to throw up, but it looks like he probably already did
You
once.
just take care of it.
And as you guys gonna get into the cabin, you crowd in. Stevenson is on the bed snoring like a log. That MFer is out. He has not moved at all, despite you guys coming in. Chris sitting on him while he's sleeping, and everyone's gonna get. Beside Dustin's bed, there is a pile of. It could be vomit. It's hard to say, but inside of this pile of like organic matter, it looks like there might be human teeth.
God.
Fingernails. It's a lot of teeth and several, like almost 10 fingernails.
That's really gross.
This is.
I'd probably almost puke. I probably would almost puke.
Pat, did you see this?
Pat, don't look at it. Don't.
Gross. Yeah, let's probably go find him.
I'll take a look at it. Does it look real?
Yeah, it looks pretty real.
Or like, well, I walk up to it. I'm like, he's not one to normally play pranks. That's gross. And I go to pick up something.
You pick up a tooth. The organic matter that's kind of around it is not liquidy so much as kind of like piled, like on top of each other. So it's kind of like, it's not gooey so much as squishy and maybe a bit spongy as you pull a tooth out of it. And as you get it, it looks like the full tooth, like that would be embedded up into the gums as well. It's like the full thing. And as you get into your hand, like it looks like a tooth, it feels like a tooth, and the wafting smell, it doesn't smell like teeth as much as dead things, kind of like slaps you right across the face as you're inspecting the item.
I immediately drop it, start gagging, and shut up. It's real. It's real.
It looks
I mean, like,
how big is the viscera?
Not very. It's not like, it doesn't look like he melted into a puddle per se, like somebody melted. It's how close are you guys gonna get to the viscera?
Not very. I'm staying far away.
I'm right up on it because I picked up a tooth.
Yeah.
It looks like probably maybe 2 handfuls worth of skin that's kind of collected around these things. Not like a skin suit fell off, but like kind of like melted, grossed up like little pieces of skin that are over this like 2 hands worth of space with the teeth and fingernails embedded into it. It doesn't look like it was arranged so much as like discarded.
Steve, get up.
Steve doesn't move. He's snoring and breathing, but he had a lot to drink.
Yes, he did.
That's really gross.
We gotta look around the area, see if we can find him.
Does it look like Dustin's tooth?
Justin,
What?
go wake up Joseph.
It looks like a tooth.
Go wake up Joseph.
Yeah, I book it to Joseph. I book it. Wait, can somebody come with me though?
Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause it's dark out there, and you know, you want to travel in twos, right? You want to be a buddy. So
Peter's kind of got his hands like on his head between his knees as he's trying not to throw up or pass out. It's kind of hard to say with it. As you guys head over to Joseph's, cabin's not that far. It's maybe like a minute or 2 walk. And you guys are kind of furtively going through panicking. The fireplace is still up, but Ashley and Joseph, when you guys left, also cleared out. So like it's like some like burning embers basically, and they just cleared out. But as you're walking over to his cabin, the power goes out. the cabins, which normally have like their own light fixtures and electricity and, as I said, Wi-Fi, everything goes dark, and the only light you guys see in the surrounding area are the burning embers of the fire pit in front of the Stone Man. And that, despite being a little bit early, is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Good place to stop.
Yeah, I didn't have a better place. So we will pick up next week, next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. EST, right at this moment. And at this point on, we get more into the monstery aspect of Supernatural. Right now, what we do is after our streams, we go into what's called the after party, where for about a half hour or so till 11 o'clock, we chat about things related to the stream or whatever our viewers like to talk about, slash, just gossip about anime, apparently. But for now, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching our first Supernatural episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit of a slower pace. I wanted to give a lot of different threads there because it is our first episode and I wanted it to be watchable.
I always like a character development first episode. Kind of sets the scene, kind of shows you what kind of people you're listening to.
Yeah, it's good. It's just the next few episodes will be a little bit more faster paced. That's all I wanted to say. And for now, for everyone else who's not joining us in the after party, thank you guys again so much for watching. If you guys would like to get notified when we're doing it again, follow us on Twitter at NSTPcast. You can check out our YouTube, which is NSTP Podcast. We do have a Discord. You can find that link down in the panels below on Twitch or the notes below the episode on YouTube. And yeah, for now, thank you for watching and see you guys next time. Until then, never split the party.
Yeah,
mostly Dustin.
Patrick. Oh, yeah, Dustin.
Most of Dustin.
All right, switch us to the after party, Justin. And